I do want to open the floor up for some questions for either Charlene or the panel. Yes.
I'm Ann Sullivan. I represent a lot of small businesses. So my question is, what kinds of efforts have you done as large businesses to work with your suppliers, which are probably small, many of them who are small businesses, on the sustainability part of your business?
Thank you very much, Ann, for your question. I'll be more than happy to jump in and highlight that with respect to all of our efforts as we look upstream in our production process, as an example, our hybrid electric fleet would most certainly not be possible were it not for a partnership with one of our major vehicular suppliers in terms of working on the technology, testing it out. Those types of partnerships also extend to many of our raw materials, our raw goods suppliers, our can suppliers, our glass and plastic suppliers. Most certainly as it relates to some of the downstream side of this equation, the partnerships that we've managed to strike with small businesses in the retail sector, I most certainly can't emphasize enough how important they have been as partners in terms of communicating the message. When we talk about how to get the everyday consumer more engaged on sustainability and recycling, our retail partners at the community level who help to message this issue, who help with the dissemination of literature. Baltimore City is an excellent example where with the Korean American Grocers Association and other small business owners and business groups, we've been able to help heighten the public awareness. So I think your question is a very critical one. You have to look at all aspects of your business, and it can't just be the big partners. It has to be big and small and everything in between.
Can I just say, I met the other day with a corporate CEO who has supply chain operations in Central America and in China. And he basically decided that what he wanted to do was to have an energy audit at each of the factories in those two places so that they could identify the same sorts of energy efficiency opportunities that they've already identified in their own operations, most of which are located here in the United States. So I think it's a terrific opportunity that we're seeing for the private sector to make a difference, reaching beyond the borders of the United States to bring the successes that we know we can achieve here at buildings, factories, and so on and so forth, and to take that into the developing world where there may be less capacity than there is here. But I think U.S. corporations can lead the way in helping to bring energy efficiency in particular, but other technologies and approaches to the developing world.
One of the things that a number of our large corporate associates are doing right now is actually sending out people to help train their suppliers and their vendors. So they're actually showing them the way and the reasons for doing it. And they're not necessarily showing them the altruistic reasons. They're showing them the bottom line reasons, and that's what's resonating. And to the extent that that can happen more and more, it's great. It's really refreshing to see because people are setting aside competitive issues and saying this is something that we need to do because it's good for us in the whole, and that rising tide raises all ships. So I hope it's a trend that we see more and more of.
Who else? Yes, ma'am. We have a microphone on its way.
Hi, it's Marie with Plaza Energy Publications. I have a question for David Gardner. I'm wondering if what's your comment on the Waxman-Markey bill's energy efficiency provisions, and how do you think it might help with your initiatives to push for greater efficiencies in buildings and other areas?
Two thoughts on the Waxman-Markey bill. One is that, of course, lots of people perceive that the thing that we're doing here is to cap emissions of carbon, which the legislation actually does, and that's a good thing. But what I think we've been focused on is that a really critical element of addressing climate change is to get what a lot of people refer to as kind of the complementary policies, energy efficiency, renewable energy, which we know not only have economic benefits, particularly consumer savings on their own, but our analysis shows that you need to adopt efficiency and renewable policies as part of ensuring that you get the lowest possible costs of meeting our greenhouse gas targets. So I think we're feeling as if the Waxman-Markey legislation includes important efficiency improvements. In particular, it's included, for example, as part of the renewable electricity standard, the requirement for electric utility companies to produce more renewables. A portion of that may be met with energy efficiency. That's an important step in the right direction. There are new building codes and standards. There is money set aside in the legislation through the allocation of permits. These are important steps that are going to yield significant household savings across the country. And we should recognize that the Waxman-Markey legislation is really a major step forward in terms of adopting clean energy policies.
I think we have time for one more, and then we'll need to wrap it up. Yes, the sir right there.
Question for Charlene, please. I am Chuck Wilsker. I'm the president of a nonprofit based in D.C. called the Telework Coalition. Hello, David. I met you at a DESC meeting not too long ago. Because I am the president of Telcoa, we of course promote telework and telecommuting and all the benefits it has to improving energy efficiency and air quality and so forth. And we also know that ICT is a requirement for the growth of telework and telecommuting. Do you know if AT&T has an official policy to promote telework internally and to your customers and clients?
We actually do. We actually do. We've, as many of you may know, AT&T has gone through a period of years where we have merged with a variety of other companies that had a variety of different telework approaches. And I don't remember exactly the timing, but it was several months ago where we did spend a lot of time bringing all of those different policies together. So we do have, we've relaunched a telework policy. It's how can we not? We're out there promoting telepresence, we're promoting the benefits of ICT, and we see the benefits that our employees can gain from that as well. So we are a proponent of it.
Okay. As we wrap up, and I want to thank all of you for your time and attention today, and leave you with the challenge that I see facing the United States. Studies have shown that the United States, the economic leader of the world, is also the most inefficient economy out of all the industrialized nations. We are last. And I would like to personally issue the challenge that we become the most energy efficient economy in the world, and that a lot of good will come from that with leadership like Charlene has demonstrated through AT&T and Curtis has through Coca-Cola and the Congress has. I think we can get there, but it is going to take all of that. It's going to take businesses working together and working through this downturned economy. It's going to take good public policies that underpin that transformation to making us the most energy efficient economy in the world, and all the good environmental, security, and economic advantages that will come out of that. So I really want to thank Mike and the Committee on Economic Development for picking us as their partner for this. It's been a wonderful experience and hopefully the first of many good partnerships to come. To thank Charlene for her wonderful keynote remarks, our panel, and the congressman in absentia, and thanks again to all of you for your time and attention.